ilagay mo si Kaado at saka si Abante, even isama mo pa si si Dan Fernandez, sama mo pa si Barbers in a national TV. Tapos debatihin natin yung issue ng South China Sea, WPS, PCA ruling, UNCLOS, lahat ng treaty. Ilagay mo sila doon, pagdebatihin mo, let the whole Philippines watch and the international level watch that debate. I will bank on Kaado, to be frank with you. Kasi kilala ko siya eh. Alam ko ang alam niya eh. Tapos, on the other hand, kaya mas yun dapat ang gawin natin para tingnan natin sino nga ba ang nagsasabi ng totoo at saan nga ba tayo puposisyon. Kasi mas maganda yan kasi we will hear their arguments, kung solid yan or factual yan, and we will hear arguments coming from the likes of Kaado, and that would be good for any kind of legislation na may kinalaman sa issue na yan kasi doon mahihimay mo talaga.
But going back to your question nga, MJ, talagang yung kanina, gusto talaga nilang ipagmukha sa mga Pilipino na ang mga intellectual, public intellectual, katulad ni na Professor Ana at in this instance nga kanina, si Kaado Paglinawan, ay towing the China propaganda. And in fact, there were times that they were insinuating that these people are being paid by China and that they are paid propagandists. I myself as well, and even Prof. Ana has been a victim of that accusation, and maligning our person. Pero hindi talaga yan umubra kanina kay Kaado because Kaado has a more in-depth knowledge of what the real situation is on the disputed areas sa South China Sea. At kaya nga, nung nag-explain na si Kaado kanina, ay parang they were intimidated into submission, kaya kinut off na nila. Otherwise, mapapahiya talaga sila. And because I think Kaado was supposed to say na walang may-ari dyan, kaya nga disputed eh. Wala pang desisyon sino talaga ang may-ari. Ang Pilipinas ba? O ang China ba? Or in fact, even the other claimant countries, precisely because, hindi nga ito na mention ni Kaado, na yung arbitral ruling na lagi nilang binabalandra, if you look at the arbitral ruling, ano ba yung root word dyan? Arbitration, Kung it's akin to a mediation doon sa barangay ninyo, amicable settlement. Ang amicable settlement, ang arbitration, takes two to tango. Pag wala yung isang party, then kayo lang ang nandun, which is actually what happened doon sa arbitral ruling. Hindi nag-participate ang China, tayo pa nga ang nagbayad ng 1 billion pesos ata yun doon sa side ng China. At hindi yan na-recognize ng China. And yun na nga, Kasi dalawa ang involved na party in any conflict, And in any conflict, dalawa or more than two parties are involved. You have to put yourself in the point of view on the shoes of the other party. In this case, in China's point of view, sa kanila yan eh. In the Philippine point of view, atin din yan. But absent an absolute ruling kung sino talagang may-ari niyan, no one can actually claim na sa amin yan, hindi rin ang China, hindi rin ang Pilipinas. Which brings us to what Prof. Ana and people like me and even Sas and what I've been saying all along. In any dispute, in any conflict, you first find a common ground somewhere that you can agree with. And that is precisely what Prof. Ana said kanina, yung code of conduct doon sa South China Sea, yung spirit of cooperation. Kasi itong dalawang mga legislation na ito, I haven't read the entire piece of legislation. It comes into conflict again with international law. It tried to codify UNCLOS into our domestic law. And the spirit of UNCLOS actually is for an amicable settlement between parties with overlapping claim, So talagang hindi nila gusto siguro na malaman at marinig ng buong sambayanan and put into record. Kasi it's a committee hearing. in aid of legislation, no? Kaya pinipigilan nila si Kaado because whatever Kaado would have said there, quotings and citing sources will go into records and can be retrieved in future hearings, can be used as references in future legislation, any amendments of such legislation, as a matter of fact. So kaya siguro na ano sila doon, no? Again, agreeing with what Professor Ana said kanina nga, itong si Tariela kasi, all he really wants to do is to instigate, no, the Filipino population into believing that the Chinese are out there to invade and occupy our territory. Yan naman talaga ang narrative nila, no? And even the recent Shangri-La dialogues, no? Mas grabe yun. Yung US Defense Secretary na si Pete Hegseth was almost challenging China into a shooting war na. Yung rhetoric niya was so alarming, no? If I may, MJ.
Hindi. Di pwede yan. Dahil para sa amin, kayo po'y makapili. Mga pro-China, mga taksil sa bayan. O, paano naman yung ganoong naratibo, no? Sir EB, Ma'am Ana, si Sir EB muna. Sir.
Yun na nga eh.
Mga taksil.
Anything na contradictory to their narrative or anyone who puts forward an argument that is against, no, a certain narrative, will be labeled, no, as either pro this or anti this, no, or paid by someone. It comes with the hazards of the job. I think I myself have been named in Twitter as a Russia-trained Chinese paid propagandist, no. So
oo nga, di ba? Kaming dalawa nga yun ata.
Kaming dalawa nga ni Prof. Ana yun, no? But again, kidding aside, no, mga kababayan, no, MJ at Admar, wala talaga silang, yun na nga, no, mga ad hominem attacks na lang kanina, tinatawag nila si Kaado na Chinaman. Ito ha, I think Kaado, when he had sufficient time, siguro nasupalpal pa rin. Kasi sinasabi ni I don't know if it was Congressman Abante, who asked him, are you a lawyer? Insinuating na Kaado is not the right person to interpret or put forward some opinions kasi hindi siya abogado. Kung ako ang nandun, siguro sasagutin ko yun. Yes, I am not a lawyer, just like many of the congressmen and many of the senators who craft laws. They are not lawyers, but that doesn't prevent them from crafting legislation or making laws. So, applying the same logic, why would it prevent a person like Kaado or Prof. Ana or me or Sas or whoever it is na interprets the same academic discussion in contradiction to their stance? MJ.
Prof. Ana.
Yeah, kasi parang ang tingin ko kasi wala silang solid argument to dispute yung mga sinasabi namin. Yan, kami na EB, kami na SAS, even si Kaado. Actually, Kaado really has an in-deep knowledge about this issue. I'm not kidding. I know him very well. So, ang inaano ko dyan is wala na silang, di nila kayang i-dispute in a way na, makikipagdebate ka, you will lay down facts as against facts na sinasabi namin, or you can cite you can cite the PCA ruling, you can cite on-clause provisions and you can explain it. Hindi nila kaya eh. So they resorted to makapili ka Chinaman or something na ad hominem to eh. As congressmen, you resorted to that? So how do you look like to the public? So ibig sabihin, either hindi nila naiintindihan yung issue, hindi nila naiintindihan ng mga sinasabi ni Kaado, at ayaw nilang mag-cite si Kaado ng mga provision and i-explain niya kasi hindi nila naiintindihan, or they just really don't want to put it on record or marinig ng publiko, kasi kapag narinig ng publiko, lalo lang malalagay sila sa alanganin. So yun yung, kaya alam mo yung mga tipong makapili ka na para bang sandali muna, that's labeling. paano mo naisip na makapilik siya just because he has his own opinion or perspective about something which is not the same with yours? That does not make Kaado ang makapili. So yun yung tingin ko they resorted to this ad hominems and name calling kasi wala na silang masabi at hindi rin nila siguro naiintindihan ng malalim yung mga sasabihin at pinagsasabi ni Kaado dun sa hearing. Kasi come on, kung si Abante nga, tignan natin, ilagay mo si Kaado at si Kaaba, ito na lang, para lang ilagay mo si Kaado at saka si Abante, even isama mo pa si Dan Fernandez, sama mo pa si Barbers in a national TV. Tapos, debatihin natin yung issue ng South China Sea, WPS, PCA ruling, UNCLOS, lahat ng treaty. Ilagay mo sila doon, pagdebatihin mo, let the whole Philippines watch and the international level watch that debate. I will bank on Kaado, to be frank with you. Kasi kilala ko siya alam ko ang alam niya Tapos, on the other hand, kaya mas yun dapat ang gawin natin para tignan natin sino nga ba ang nagsasabi ng totoo at saan nga ba tayo puposisyon. Kasi mas maganda yan kasi we will hear their arguments, kung solid yan or factual yan, and we will hear arguments coming from the likes of Kaado and that would be good for any kind of legislation na may kinalaman sa issue na yan kasi doon mahihimay mo talaga. But why is it that they're not doing it? Instead, they're trying to reprimand a person who's trying to explain earlier. So yun yung sinasabi ko. O ilagay mo na rin ng si Sas. Ako rin, sige, mag-participate. Si Ibi mag-participate dyan sa grand debate. Why not, diba? This is good for the public. This is good for the Filipino people. Why not do it something like that rather than having a TRICOM na controlled nila controlled nila pag hindi ka nila pinagsalita hindi ka makapagsalita tapos mamaya pag hindi nila nagustuhan makontempt ka pa. It's just so good na I think that was the last hearing I think for TRICOM kasi nga magsasara na ang 19th Congress at papasok na ang 20th Congress. So in a way, hindi na nila siguro makontempt si Kaado. Pero feeling ko kung may oras pa, delikado si Kaado. Baka si Kaado na-detain sa sa HOR. Pero ready yan si Kaado. Ready siya sa mga ganyan. Yeah.
Opo. Nais ko lang ipunto din na Ma'am Ana and si Ibi yung theory, yung rally round the flag effect, yung concept na ito na lumilikha ng isang external issue to unite the people kasi pag external nagkakaisa ang mga mga mamamayan ng isang bansa rallying behind at winawaksi yung mga internal disputes at mga internal na mga hindi pagkakaunawahan sa isang nasyon kagaya po ng sa Pilipinas. For a common enemy which is external. Ito ba ay nakikita ninyo ngayon sa mga panahon para malihis yung mga issue natin, mga problema natin sa krisis, tumataas na crime rate, yung patuloy na paghihirap ng mga Pilipino, pagmahal ng mga bilihin, so on and so forth. Prof. Ana.
Sa akin kasi, ang tingin ko kasi sa South China Sea talaga, it's like at diversionary issue or ginagamit din nilang diversionary tactic para ang pag-iisip at atensyon ng mga Pilipino ay imbis na doon sa domestic na mga nangyayari sa Pilipinas na kailangan tugunan at bigyan ng pansin ng gobyerno, ng House of Representatives, ng Senado at yung mga politika, yung gitgitan sa politika, imbis na nandun yung atensyon ng mga Pilipino, sinishift nila to South China Sea issue, which is an external and a regional issue. And at the same time, I think they're banking on the fact na kapag pinag-usapan ito, magkakaroon ng tinatawag mong tataas probably ang trust rating ni Romualdez, tataas ang trust rating ni Tarela, at tataas ang trust rating ni Presidente. I don't think so. Because to be honest, ang mga Pilipino right now, para sa kanila, parang, again, South China Sea again. Ganun na ang reaction nila. Again, South China Sea again. Kasi bakit? Kasi nai-educate na rin ang mga Pilipino. Sa akin, ang tingin ko, diversionary ang issue na ito. Kasi kung titignan mo, imagine, sa isang hearing, ilan ang gagastusin mo dyan? Kasi may gastos yan Pag nagpa-hearing ka, malaki ang ginagastos din. And the gastos dyan sa hearing, bawat hearing is siguro aabot yan ng ₱1,000,000 or something to that effect. So saan yung kinukuha? Taxpayers' money yan. So why would you devote a lot of money to a hearing na paulit-ulit lang? Imagine mo, ang TRICOM hearing na yan, ang pinag-uusapan dyan is fake news. Napunta na kung saan-saan, napunta Pogo, fake news, kung saan-saan na napunta. Tapos in aid of the legislation, ano ang ililegislate mo? Do we need legislation on South China Sea issue? Really? I think the South China Sea issue is more of diplomacy. Ibato mo yan sa Department of Foreign Affairs. Let them handle the issue kasi trabaho nila yan. Hindi trabaho ng Kongreso ang mag-adjudicate or mag-usap-usap tungkol sa isang napaka-sensitive na regional issue. Trabaho yan ng mga diplomat. Let the Department of Foreign Affairs handle it and let the President do something about it because siya ang author ng foreign policy ng Pilipinas. Bakit ang nasa Kongreso? In the very first, kasi ang gulo-gulo ng nila, ng agenda nila. Fake news, napunta kung saan-saan, tapos lahat na lang singit ng singit, kahit anong issue sinisingit in the guise of fake news. My goodness. Pati nga ngayon ang opinion, ang perspective, fake news na rin. Sabi ko, ano ba to? Ang gulo-gulo naman. So, yun. At saka, kung titignan mo ang Pilipinas, ang daming issues. Ang paglobo ng utang ng debt natin, sovereign debt natin, tumaas na naman kasi utang tayo ng utang. Tapos, ano pa ba? Foreign direct investment, kulang. Wala, bumababa. Tapos mahal pa rin ang mga bilihin ng may nilabas ngayon na sinasabing bumaba daw ang inflation. Hindi ko alam kung totoo yan really in real life situation. Kasi bilang isang Pilipino, wala ako sa bansa right now, but syempre may mga kaibigan ako. Tinatanong ko din yung mga kaibigan ko, mga kapatid ko, ano na ba ang presyo ng mga bilihin dyan? Kaya pa ba natin sa sweldo natin? Kasi tumataas ang bilihin, hindi tumataas ang sweldo ng ganun kadali. Tumaas man ang sweldo, 100, 200, 1,000 lang per taas. Hindi yan tumataas ng sobra-sobra. So, alam ko kung ano nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Alam ko kung gaano kahirap ang buhay sa Pilipinas. So, bakit hindi ito ang bigyan nila dapat ng pansin when they do hearings? Kasi may oversight function ang Congress. Implementation, like for example, poverty alleviation. Ano bang nangyayari dyan? Yung kanilang mga pinagdidistribute na mga ayuda-ayuda, may nangyayari ba talaga dyan? Oversight function nila yan. Dapat tinitignan nila kung may impact ba yan o wala. May nare-resolve ba sila when you talk about poverty o wala. Dito sila sa mga issue na actually hindi yan domestic eh. Ang kailangan ng Pilipinas is pagtuunan mo ang domestic problem natin. Pati na yung politika na pagkagulo-gulo na hindi ko maintindihan kung saan tayo mapupunta dahil sa gulo rin ng politika natin, lalo na itong mga tulad ng impeachment. Hindi, alam mo yun, many pieces are moving at the moment with the upcoming impeachment trial. Mayroong nagsasabi na wag na, mayroong nagsasabing tuloy, may mga tao, ang House of Representatives ko-complain. So, magulo din eh. So, ito yung mga issues na dapat ang presidente magkaroon ng final, or alam mo yun, decisive dapat siya. Pag sinabi niyang wala ng impeachment, di sabihan niya yung mga tao niya, wala ng impeachment, period. Ganon, hindi yung ang daming voices, ang gulo-gulo. Hindi ko rin alam, pero feeling ko smoke screen lang ito eh. But probably the impeachment would proceed eh. Impeachment trial will proceed. So yun yung tingin ko.
Sir EB, same question, sir.
Well, ako, I agree with Prof. Ana, pero sa tingin ko, the Bongbong Marcos administration is hitting two birds in one stone. Dito sa pagiging masigasig nila sa kanilang mga action dyan sa disputed areas sa South China Sea. Una, again, yung distraction on real issues that yung sinasabi nila na malapit sa sikmura ng mga Pilipino, which is number one, inflation. Kahit 1.4% na lang ang inflation in May, hindi pa rin natin yan na-feel probably because hindi pa rin bumababa ang presyo ng pangunahing bilihin at ang mga utilities. May zero inflation ang component kasi nga ang bigas medyo bumaba because of the lowering of the tariff. Pero on the other hand, yung price of meat is also extraordinarily high. my daughters just bought a kilo of pork belly in the nearest meat shop here. It cost us 400 pesos. Can you imagine, 400 pesos na yung karne? Kahit maibaba mo yung bigas, pero mataas pa rin yung karne, mataas pa rin yung LPG, yung cooking gas, mataas pa rin yung kuryente, mataas pa rin yung singil ng tubig, mataas ang transport cost, you will not feel it, no? Na talagang bumaba. Wala yan, no? So again, distraction yan. Number one is the bicameral conference committee report, yung pinaka-corrupt daw or the worst budget, the most corrupt budget in the history, yung GAA 2025 na kinestyon ngayon sa Korte Suprema. Hindi lang marami, kundi yung mga bagong senador, especially Ping Lacson at Tito Soto, no? Also questioned and seem to agree na yung GAA, yung budget for 2025 ay talagang binalahuran ng husto, no? At winalanghiya talaga ang kaban ng bayang Pilipino.
Opo.
So, pangalawa, totoo yun, no? Distraction yun. At rallying around the flag, kumbaga, para mag-rally yung buong Pilipino sa liderato. But there is also a very insidious reason for that. That's the other bird na matatamaan nila in this stone dyan sa West Philippines, which is promoting the American hegemonic interest and their control in the Indo-Pacific. Probably because they want to use the Philippines as a leverage against China. At kung titingnan ninyo geographically, yan lang talaga ang purpose ng Pilipinas sa mga Amerikano. Because if you have heard the speech of Pete Hegseth, yung mga Amerikano na yan have no interest na may kapayapaan sa South China Sea. Did you ever hear the Americans say, "Oy, China, Philippines, sit down, I will mediate. Mag-dialogue kayo." O, di ba? Wala. Anong ginagawa? Nagbibenta ng mga modernong mga armas, no? They are escalating now to a Cold War-like arms race dito sa Indo-Pacific. Nababahala ang China, nababahala ang North Korea. Even Russia is already alarmed by this increasing presence of NATO navies now, na kung saan-saan na lang tayo nakikipag-agreement dyan. You have the Australia, the Ukraine, yung pag-express natin ng support sa Ukraine. I mean, we are actually, tama yung isang Chinese officer doon na nagtanong sa Shangri-La Dialogues na iniskierda ni Gibo Teodoro na tinanong siya, is the Philippines a proxy in the Indo-Pacific just like Ukraine is in Eastern Europe? Sinabi niya, thank you for the propaganda spills, no? So yung bang mga tipong ganon, katulad din sa TRICOM, pag hindi na nila kayang pag-usapan at debatehin yung mga issue na binabato sa kanila, nag-ad hominem attack na sila, no? At totoo yung sinabi ni Prof. Ana kanina, at alam nyo if you remember 2024, merong isang survey, 77% of all Filipinos favor military action against China sa South China Sea. At some point, it increased to about 80%. Nasaan na ngayon yan? In 2025. Not even in the election surveys, the pre-election surveys, nasa panghuli yan eh. The top 5 concerns of the Filipino, ordinary Filipino, is number 1, food security, lower prices of goods, crime rate, affordable, accessible healthcare, affordable, quality education. Lahat yan ang top concerns ng mga Pilipino. Hindi ang South China Sea dispute. It's way below the concerns. Election to So ang mga tao talagang interesado sila na maipalabas, no? Kaya it reflected on the top 5 na results in the senatorial elections. Because number 1, Bongo is healthcare, affordable, accessible, 'di ba? Bam Aquino, supposedly, quality and affordable education, sa free tertiary education. Bato is criminality and the rise
Peace and
again
order.
on peace and order of illegal drugs. You have Marcoleta, who is a very passionate about power cost and yung the revision
Electricity.
of the electricity cost, no? So nag-reflect yun. You have Kiko Pangilinan, who has already
Agriculture.
agriculture na yung kanyang plataforma. So wala yan sa concern ng mga Pilipino. Ewan ko kung bakit talaga nila gustong ano ba ang tawag dito? They want to shove it down our throats, no? Na kesyo ito ganyan yung mga incheck, yung ating teritoryo ay kukunin na nila, they are going to occupy this, occupy. Look, we have you have the BCM, the bilateral consultation mechanism for the South China Sea. It was activated. After the activation, meron pa bang problema yung ating rotation and resupply mission sa BRP Sierra Madre sa Ayungin Shoal? Meron ba tayong nabalitaan na water cannoning or any confrontation? Wala. Wala na. Ang mga confrontations ngayon is from another location, away from Ayungin Shoal. So bakit yung Ayungin Shoal ngayon tahimik? Kung walang resupply mission yun, magugutom na at mamamatay na yung mga tauhan natin doon. Pero bakit it is continuing without any confrontation, no? Or without any glitches, 'di ba? So meaning dialogue works, diplomacy works. If you sit down and you agree on this, kahit you disagree on something else, yun ang path to peace, no? Again, I go back to the Hegseth speech, no? So sa Shangri-La Dialogues. Ito talaga yung mga war hawks, no? In order for us to achieve peace, we have to prepare for war. Yun ang ano nila eh. Yun talaga ang kanilang slogan,
Opo.
no? So delikado talaga.